We have an update on Backstage reaction to CM Punk's unscripted promo this week that has had everybody talking. CM Punk went shooting pew 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 from the hip. We're going to talk about what he said, the Backstage reaction, whether this is a story, and how this could affect WWE's plans moving forward. We're also going to get into a major creative shift for one of WWE's returning talent. And be sure to stick around for the end of this video, because I have something I really need to get off my chest. All that and much more coming up right here in this video. So be sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. All right, let's begin by talking about CM Punk, who earlier this week went off the script shooting in a promo about Hulk Hogan. Punk was cutting this promo where he stated that he was going to win the Royal Rumble. He was going to throw out the likes of John Cena, Seth Rollins, and others. And in that, he also named Hulk Hogan, who recently made an appearance on the Netflix debut episode of Monday Night Raw, where he was booed profusely by the audience. And CM Punk, playing into this, said, "I'll even take Hulk Hogan's dusty ass, throw him over the top rope, and kill Hulkamania forever," which got a massive pop by the audience in Texas. We now are learning the Backstage reaction about this promo, and we're also learning the fact that it was indeed unscripted. Here is the FightfulSelect.com report. CM Punk's line about Hulk Hogan during Raw this week was claimed to be unscripted. There's no heat on Punk for it, and Backstage people laughed about it. So that is the reaction. Obviously, no heat on CM Punk for this. The interesting thing here is that not only does WWE own a stake in Hulk Hogan's beer company, Real MAGA Beer, Real American Beer, same difference, but also kind of combined to this, there has been this idea, at least initially there was an idea, for Hulk Hogan to make an appearance for WWE at Saturday night's main event. However, ever since the Netflix debut episode, that's kind of changed things. And I think recent events, namely Tessa Blanchard getting "she's a racist" chants hurled at her at the TNA show this weekend, may have WWE thinking in a different direction. And you want to talk about like this posture and kind of like why WWE might have like let this slide or why they might not care. The reality is that the amount of money that CM Punk is drawing them compared to the amount of money that Hulk Hogan will be drawing them is not even close. CM Punk is arguably one of, if not, I would say, WWE's most polarizing stars. He's definitely a merch machine, and he's someone who has really helped in WWE regaining the popularity they had in the mainstream. And like, you can say whatever you want, CM Punk is hot. This man, everything he touches right now turns to gold, and he is cooking, arguably WWE's best storyteller right now. So when you have all of that, you're going to go with that guy, and you're not really going to care. And like, look, it's a funny thing. He shot on Hulk Hogan, someone who has said the most insanely racist things that one can imagine. And yeah, no one was upset. Why would they be? You think they're going to be upset because they spent chump change on buying Real American Beer? Of course, we don't know how much they spent on it, but I don't assume it was much, considering Hulk Hogan kind of self-started a beer brand that is essentially like one of these things where the beer is already made. He just kind of slaps his logo on it. It's like, all right, brother, I'm going to do this, brother. Like, it's stupid. It's stupid. Of course, they're not going to be mad. The interesting thing, though, is going to be, is he going to be at Saturday night's main event? And if he is, how would this promo indeed impact that? Because I think one thing that you saw there on Raw was fans, that was one of the big things they cheered for when he said, "I'm going to throw Hulk Hogan's dusty ass over the top rope." And you could tell Punk that wasn't like a work. he felt that, like many of us, I'm sure, would. So, interesting stuff here. Do I see this blowing up to a big thing? Hey, no. But every time CM Punk and shooting is involved, you always gotta at least take it with a grain of salt. One thing that you shouldn't take with a grain of salt is the perks that you can get when you become a member on the channel. Guys, be sure to become a channel member. It helps support the show. And, of course, it unlocks exclusive perks like custom emotes, answers to your comments within 24 hours, and a whole lot more. Speaking of a whole lot more, let's move on to a whole lot more about Alexa Bliss, someone who has not been seen on WWE TV in well over a year. She obviously went off and had a child. Congratulations to her and her family. But now we are learning that there's been a pretty major shift in Alexa Bliss's creative. This according to the good folks over at PW Insider. Here is the report from PW Insider. Plans for Alexa Bliss's expected WWE return are currently off the table. WWE Creative has been told to put all plans for Alexa Bliss on hold indefinitely. Initial plans were for Bliss to return at Raw in San Jose several weeks ago, and a storyline involving the Wyatt Six had been pitched as part of the return. Instead, right before the event, Creative was told to drop all plans for Bliss. Creative plans were not an issue, and Bliss was ready to return, but the company put a halt to those plans. One source believed it may be a contract issue. Additional sources spoken to claim to not know where the issue could be. Bliss is not featured in any creative pitches for the Women's Royal Rumble match. This is interesting. And not only because there's the potential here for a contract issue that led to Alexa not being able to return in San Jose as was planned. I think WrestleVotes even had reported that she was going to be returning imminently, and that does not seem to be the case according to this PW Insider report. Instead, looks like plans are up in the air. And you know, when you think about like this from the perspective of like what could happen, could it be the idea that, you know, maybe they want to go in a different direction with the Wyatt Six? Sure. I still don't get why that would eliminate Alexa Bliss from potentially being in the Royal Rumble match. Okay. Is it the idea that maybe they just didn't want to do this Wyatt Six stuff and they just wanted to go in a different direction for Alexa Bliss? Okay, sure. But then I again ask the same question. You have one of your biggest shows coming up in the Royal Rumble, a show that is built partially upon the idea of talent returning. You have a talent who's ready to return. What's going on? And then I'm kind of left with like the most logical conclusion that there might be a contract issue, and it might not be as you know, salacious as Alexa Bliss's WWE contract running out and no one wants to re-sign her, or she doesn't want to re-sign. But it also could just be maybe they need to add in some time. She was obviously out on maternity leave for an extended period of time. Maybe they need to add some of that time back. Maybe they're not choosing to add some of that time back and her contract is about to elapse and they don't have a deal in place currently. All of that is on the table. All of that is a possibility. And the more I think about it, the more it would make sense that if it's a contractual issue that Alexa and her creative plans have changed. And like, look, I'm not complaining. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not complaining. I am a big fan of the idea of the Wyatt Six. The execution on WWE's part has not been great. And I don't think that this was the direction for Alexa's return. I don't. And I think that regardless whether she returns in WWE in like a couple of weeks or months or whatever, I think she has enough of a leg to stand on her own that she doesn't necessarily need that group, that gimmick, or anything in order to get over. She's gotten naturally over throughout her career, and I think she can continue to do so on her own. But I guess we'll see. Guys, let me know in the comments section what you think about all of this. Let me know what you think. Should Alexa Bliss return soon? Will we see CM Punk versus Hulk Hogan in a wrestling ring? Let me know in the comments section. Also, be sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And now I got something I want to say. All right. I'm going to try to make this fairly brief. I wanted to leave this kind of separate from the original video, but, you know, obviously I just want to get it out there. Earlier today, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, was forced, essentially, well, not forced, she was put in a position where she had to put out a tweet that essentially debunked some false allegations against her about her relationship with Adam Cole. And I'm not going to get into the salacious part of this, but one of the things that has pissed me off to no end in this space, right? And I mean in the wrestling media space, is the idea that, you know, you can use someone's personal life in order to, you know, get clicks. You can use lies specifically about unsubstantiated lies about someone's personal life in order to drive views, drive all this kind of stuff. It is something that I have done my darnest not to do, and that I can honestly say I will never go to those depths to try to get some views. I will never post a headline oh, report X is dating X, or oh, report X cheated on X, or whatever. That's something I'm never going to do, because to me, only untalented hacks do that. And there's a certain wrestling account, you may know it, I'm not going to name it, but you may know it, that has basically been doing that and built whatever audience they have off of that for years. And it pisses me off to no end, because it's a cycle. This is not the first time something like this has happened. It's a cycle. And the fact that we still have people who go and follow this account to try to stir up drama, who and again, I'm not blaming people, because at the end of the day, you may not know. But the fact that people are still sharing this stuff, they're retweeting it, we got to be smarter, man. Stop giving these low-lift grifters who, again, it's different when you're talking about stories. It's different when you're talking about legitimate news. People's personal lives and the rumor and innuendo about their personal lives, in my view, that's not what it is. That's not what this is about. At the end of the day, we're wrestling fans. Sure, if someone divulges a piece of personal information that they want to share with the public, you know what? Maybe I could understand that. It's something I try to avoid, but maybe I could understand that. When you are using unsubstantiated lies from another podcast that has been known to stretch the truth, to say the least, where you have an entire generation of podcasters who their entire thing is grift. Let me get my clicks in. You would think that any serious outlet, any serious aggregator, any serious content creator would at least think about it before they do. But they don't. That's the reality we live in. People don't think about the news pieces. People don't think about the impact that they could have on the discourse about someone, unless or because at the end of the day, all they're concerned about is, well, if I do this, it's going to get me clicks. I'm going to make an extra $15 off of this. Ooh. Man, get the fuck out of here, bro. That's the lamest shit I've ever seen. I'm so sick of it, man. And you guys may know what this outlet is. And if you do, you know what I'm talking about. They have a history of doing just lame stuff like this. And it pisses me off to no end. And this is not me saying that, we can't chop it up and talk about the stories or whatever. But man, there's a line, there's a line. It's different when you're talking about, backstage fights that happen between two wrestlers at an AEW show or a WWE show, than it is talking about someone's personal, romantic family life. To me, that stuff I don't play in the mud there. To me, that stuff, I don't get involved because that's not my business. That doesn't affect the product that I'm seeing. That doesn't affect who's on TV, who isn't. That doesn't affect my viewing of things. That's for everyone else to figure out. I got enough problems in my life. I don't know about y'all. I got enough problems in my life. I don't need to be worrying about someone else's personal life. So it's a message, a rant. I don't know what this is. I just want to get it off my chest, man. Just stop supporting those low life grifter accounts. And I know the term grifter. Everyone's go, everyone's a grifter, man. Again, there's a line. There's a line. If you want and again, I guess it depends on what you want. If you want to continue to follow people who report largely unsubstantiated rumors with the most unfair, unfathomable clickbait. And look, I understand on YouTube, a little bit of baiting is part of the game. But again, there's a line. But if you want to support all that, hey man, that's not on me. I just want to let you know. To me, personally, shit like that, people who aggregate unsubstantiated lies and things like that hurt people, to me, that's lame as fuck. But hey, what do I know? Thank you guys for watching this far into the video. Until next time, keep it real.